Alice Timefield has arrived to Zenless Zone 0, and she is an easy to pick up, hard to master kind of character. And an Alice played to her full potential with some neat techniques and tips will get vastly better results than an Alice played if we're just smashing the buttons. And I've spent the last 2 weeks mastering Alice on the creator servers, and I'm gonna give you my 8 best tips to truly mastering her in combat. Hello everybody, welcome to the channel, my name is Hako. So I've sat down and I've done some thinking. What are 8 things that I incorporate in my own gameplay that I can pass on to you people so that you can elevate your Alice gameplay? Number 1, resource management. Alice has her own special resource called Blade Etiquette, which we can find underneath her portrait. The max Blade Etiquette we can have is 300 and is portioned off into 3 pieces, each piece being 100. The way Alice gets these Blade Etiquettes is by doing different attacks on an enemy. And understanding roughly how much you get from every attack is key to understanding her resource management and making sure that we don't waste any Blade Etiquette. When you have fully stacked Alice Blade Etiquette, we are meant to be holding the basic attack so she can do her fully stacked up Starshine Waltz. Now we don't want to be sitting at a full bar and then go ahead and be causing disorders and assault, because any Blade Etiquettes that we would have gotten, well, they just disappear into the void. So some of the key ways of getting Blade Etiquette is EX Special Attack. And especially if we time this with enough timing that Alice will do a perfect dodge with her EX Special, then we gain 10 extra Blade Etiquette. So basically, if you're sitting at 2 bars, you do an EX Special, and once that string of attacks plays out, you can be expecting to be sitting at a full bar. Now, while the last bits of the attack string plays out, we can preemptively hold the attack button to immediately start charging Starshine Waltz as soon as we're able to. So roughly a bar from EX Special, slightly more if we can time it so it does a perfect dodge. Alice also gets 10 whenever she causes an assault, and she also gains 30 whenever a disorder happens. And she also gains 200 Blade Etiquette from her ultimate. And these 200s, they are very important, and it is so easy to accidentally, be at 2 bars and then we do the ultimate, and then we basically just wash 100 Blade Etiquette down the drain. Now for tip number 2, let's call this one Switch Out. Alice has a few attacks where we can safely switch out to another character and the attack will still carry out. The big one is the Starshine Waltz. As soon as Alice has consumed all 3 bars and she takes off into the air, it is super safe to switch to another character like Vivian or whoever else and stack that character, and then we can switch back to Alice once the attack is fully played out. Now, important to note here is that Alice will cause assault and disorder after she's switched out, because that's what her Starshine Waltz do. But she's not able to trigger the assault that would happen thanks to the anomaly build-up if she is not the active character on the field. So there are going to be certain scenarios where you don't want to switch out on Alice because you want that extra assault to also happen. And this is going to be a judgment call on your behalf, what is best. Personally, I find myself switching out around 90% of the times. Another neat little thing that you can do is that you can actually trigger a perfect dodge with the EX Special and also defensive assist with another character at the same time, and Alice will still go through with the EX Special and you will gain the Blade Etiquette. This can be a perfect way to activate Protopunk or do anything with a second character. Number 3, know Alice's core combo. The core principle of Alice is kinda simple. Accumulate Blade Etiquette, do a max Starshine Waltz, and stonks go up, and enemies die. And the best way to get Blade Etiquette is to try and cheat the system. Focus on seeing her full basic attack combo throughout, but as soon as you have the chance, take any opportunity to do a perfect dodge with her special attack, which is the EX Special, if we don't have enough energy. Because if we manage to perfect dodge with her special attack, we go immediately to basic attack 5. And now her 5th basic attack gets a hell of a lot stronger if Alice has previously activated assault on that enemy. So anytime Alice activates assault, the next 5th basic attack will be enhanced. Enhanced in damage, enhanced in build-up, and especially enhanced in how much Blade Etiquette we do get from it. So the focus is basic attacking the enemy, and looking for any opportunity to do our perfect dodges through our special attack or EX Special. We want them to attack us kinda just like Jane. Number 3, 2 EX Specials. So Alice is one of those characters, she has 2 different EX Specials, and the game doesn't do the best job of telling us the difference between them. And now, I'll be completely honest with you peeps, there isn't too much difference between these two. One of them we activate by like pressing forward and then activating the EX special, and one of them, and that one is called Northern Cross, like north, straight forward, easy to remember, and the other one is called Sudden Cross. We activate sudden by not doing any movement input or doing a movement input backwards. For the northern one, Alice will like dash through the enemy. For the sudden one, she will take a few steps back, do a few slashes, and then dash through the enemy. If we take a bit of a look at the modifiers, the sudden one has slightly higher modifiers and it does around 15% more damage. The sudden one also does around 15% more anomaly buildup. The trade-off is that the sudden one takes around 25% longer to play out. So the northern one is faster, but it did slightly less damage, slightly less buildup. Sudden Cross takes 4 seconds to play out, Northern Cross takes 3 seconds. And honestly, from my testing, in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really matter which one of these you use. I find myself using Sudden Cross slightly more, just because it feels more natural to not press forward while I'm pressing the EX special attack button. And this part of Alice's kit is probably the thing I've seen like most people a little bit confused with, because they don't really understand the difference. And like when should they use which one, etc. And honestly, like I said, it's personal preference. I think maybe in an earlier iteration of Alice, maybe they did something different. She did go through quite a bit of rework before she hit the servers. Number 4, let's talk stun windows. When we get to a stun window, your goal should be to get at least 2 fully like charged Starshine Waltz off. 3 is absolutely phenomenal if you can manage that, although that is hard. And the way I like to do it, just because the Starshine Waltz animation is so gosh darn long, I like to start charging it when the enemy is about to be stunned, so say when they're out at 95% days or more. And then we bring in the teammates to do some EX specials or maybe even a defensive assist to make the stun happen before the Starshine Waltz damage hits. Now, if you want to master Alice, I would recommend also mastering manual chain attacks, because that is needed for this to work. When the Starshine Waltz is done, you can switch back to Alice, and then if your ultimate is up, we can do an ultimate, and we will then get 200 more Blade Etiquette. At M0, you will still be a little bit short of like Blade Etiquettes to do another Starshine Waltz, so what you can do is do another EX special attack to like top yourself up, and then immediately go into another Starshine Waltz. And then we animation cancel, we switch to a teammate, and we do a heavy attack on the enemy to trigger the chain attack on the enemy. We send in a character that is not Alice, because you need to be careful to not switch back into Alice while her Starshine Waltz is still going. Once Alice is done with her second Starshine Waltz, you can switch back into her and try to get another third one off, which is possible against certain bosses, and depending on how much energy you are sitting on in that stun window. For number 5, Enhanced Basic Attack 5. I feel like this one deserved its own number, we touched upon it earlier, but once again, after Alice has cast an assault, her next Basic Attack 5 will be enhanced. And that is the attack where she kinda comes diagonally crashing down from the air on the enemy. You get one of these every time Alice casts an assault on an enemy, and preferably use this one up before the next assault happens. It would be lovely if this one stacked, so you could have 3 or 4 or 5 enhanced basic attacks stacked up, but no, you only get one, and if it's not used, well, we can't gain a second one. And I cannot stress enough how good this is for her Blade Etiquette generation. It is a game changer, and you will notice the difference with just how much you're getting from the unenhanced 5 compared to just a normal 5. For number 6, always use the fully charged up Starshine Waltz. Never ever use it at 1 bar or 2 bars, always use it at 3 bars. And why is that, you're asking? Well, if we take a look at the skill, it says when the finishing move of a 3-stage charged basic attack Starshine Waltz hits, it triggers a special assault called Polarized Assault. And what is so great with Alice Polarized Assault is that it ignores the anomaly buildup on the enemy. It will trigger an assault no matter the buildup, and it doesn't take away the buildup that is there. This is so goddamn huge. And these properties are not on Starshine Waltz unless it is at a level 3. And this will also react with other attribute anomalies, like shocked, like burning, and also like a normal assault. Which is why she works so great together with Jane. Number 7. Pick a good team. This might seem obvious, but let's still talk about it. What is a good team for Alice? Well, what is her mission in combat? Well, gaining blade etiquette and doing Starshine Waltzes. One of her absolute best ways to gain blade etiquette is when disorders happens on the enemy. So bringing disorder-focused agents like Vivian or Bernice is absolutely correct for that. And just for the newer players, disorders is what happens when like two attribute anomalies meet. So if an enemy is suffering from one attribute anomaly like burning or corruption, and then they also get shocked, the first attribute anomaly that they're suffering from will get cancelled out, but the payout is that the enemy takes a big chunk of damage for like not being afflicted by that first anomaly anymore. And disorder also does more damage like the longer time that was like still left on it. So if an enemy just got burning and it has 12 seconds like left of burning, and then a disorder happens immediately, that disorder will do more damage than if it was only 2 seconds left of the burning. Another team that I'm sure that you've heard of by now is a mono-physical team with Jane Doe. Now this team is cracked, and I had a feeling it was going to be cracked before anybody could even test it out. And this team gets especially good if Jane is at M2, and especially if Alice is also at M2. And what makes this combo so goddamn broken is that Alice and Jane, they scale exponentially with one another. So every piece of investment into Alice is also like a super big increase to Jane and vice versa. They have what I would call a hyper synergy with one another. And the concept behind this team is that Jane allows Alice's assaults to crit even her polarized assaults, which is huge. And at Jane M2, the assaults gain 100% crit damage, which is goddamn massive. For number 8, let's call this one the opener. I've seen people confused like how should they start a combat with Alice. She comes fully stacked with blade etiquette, and like how should we make use of that? What I've personally gotten the best results with is of course to make sure that like whatever buff we have, that one is active. So if it's Yusua, make sure that she is like buff the entire team before we use the blade etiquette. And if you're running Alice in like a double anomaly setup with Vivian, for example, also making sure that the enemy is on a good way to being afflicted with their element is a good idea. Because with any sort of anomaly teams, you want like the anomalies to happen very close to each other, and that is especially true with Alice because of her core skill. And when the enemy is like half afflicted with corruption, let's say, if we're running Vivian, you can switch to Alice, do her charge up her Starshine Waltz, and then switch back to Vivian and make sure that the corruption happens, so when Alice's attack hits, we get both the polarized assault and the disorder that comes with her ability. So everybody, that was my best 8 tips that I have for you to like mastering Alice. If any additional ideas hit me, I will put them down in the comments, or if enough of them hits me, I will do like a follow-up video to this one. Everybody, let me know in the comments, how are you finding Alice? Did you find that any of these tips were like especially useful, or you already incorporating some of them? And do you have any like additional tips for your fellow community members to mastering Alice? And if you're in the Discord, I would love to see how your Alice is coming along in the Flex section. And if you're not in the Discord, get the hell in there, the link is in the description. And if you want to support the channel and also pick up some Zenless swag, I have a little Zenless store with designs you won't find anywhere else. And finally, an extra big thanks to all of the members of the channel, and if you want to become a member and support what I do, link to that is also in the description. Everybody, as always, thank you so much for watching, have a big hug, and until next time, out.
Choose the charm.